Good morning, Surveyor President, distinguished guests, invited speakers, industry stakeholders, fellow surveyors, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Planning Committee of the Quantity Surveying Division, we warmly welcome you to the 2025 Quantity Surveying Divisional Conference, taking place right here at PEMPAMSIE Hotel in the historic city of Cape Coast in the central region of Ghana.
We are honored by your presence this morning as we gather to deliberate on issues central to the growth and transformation of our profession. We especially acknowledge our distinguished dignitaries, invited guests, and valued sponsors whose support and presence have made this important gathering possible. We say thank you. This year's theme, Integrating Value Engineering into Infrastructure Procurement, reflects our collective commitment to innovation, efficiency, and valued creation in the delivery of infrastructure projects.
Over the course of this conference, we shall have the privilege of listening to insightful speeches, a keynote address, and a high-level panel discussion featuring key stakeholders from across the construction industry. Together, these sessions will provide valuable perspectives on how value engineering can be strategically embedded into our procurement and project delivery process.
We encourage all participants to engage fully, share ideas, and contribute meaningfully to the discourse, as the outcomes of this conference will help shape policy and professional practice in the years ahead. Distinguished
ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor, together with my co-MC, to formally declare the 2025 Quantity Surveying Divisional Conference
officially open. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, as a mark of unity and professional pride, we invite everyone to rise and join in singing of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors anthem. Kindly rise as we sing our anthem.
The anthem is on page 2. Page 2.
Respect for profession. Let us come together
Thank you very much. Please be seated.
At this point, it's my pleasure to welcome up here our very own, the chair of the Quantity Surveying Division, Surveyor Osei Ajimanbedu. Please, let's give it up for him.
Good morning, distinguished guest speaker, Nananum, the president of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, past presidents of this noble institution, governing council members, esteemed guests and speakers, colleague surveyors, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. As chair of the Quantity Surveying Division and on behalf of the leadership of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, it is my absolute pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to this 2025 Quantity Surveying Division Conference. I would like to begin by extending my heartfelt appreciation to the local organizing committee and CPD committee for their dedication and hard work towards the planning and organization of this conference. I wish to also thank all guest speakers and resource persons who have joined us to share their knowledge and experience with us. Cherished members of our division, for your presence and participation, which signifies a shared dedication to the progress and excellence of our profession. Your commitment is the engine that drives our success. Before I proceed to talk about this program, I would like to recap previous year's events to provide context to this year's conference. In the recent 2023 Qsd conference under the theme, Payment Regime and its Impacts on Successful Delivery of Government Infrastructure Projects, held in Koforidua in the Eastern Premier Hotel, several recommendations were put forward to improve the contractor payment regime and its impacts on successful delivery of government infrastructure projects. That one, awarding institutions may only award contracts based on the availability of funds. As part of the conditions of contracts, these institutions must provide evidence of their ability to pay for such contracts. Two, technology initiatives such as GANEPS must be wholly embraced to support procurement, and these must be duly linked to payment platforms such as GiveMate. Instructive to note that government through the Ministry of Finance has made amendment to the public procurement law by introducing a requirement for commitment authorization to address the above challenges. Three, all stakeholders must abide by conditions of the contracts, and the quantity surveyor must ensure context, thus payment regime and limits in scope. Unfortunately, this issue is yet to be addressed comprehensively through stakeholder engagements. Four, another recommendation, particularly for us as quantity surveyors, was to bring to bear on projects the advantage of design economics and value engineering to reduce the cost of projects whilst upholding the expected value and functionality that is required of the final product. The theme for this year's conference, integrating value engineering into infrastructure development, is a further action to address these outstanding recommendations. Infrastructure development and delivery, as we can all attest to, remain key to the attainment of Ghana development priorities: transportation, sanitation, water, power supply, communication, among others. However, can we say with certainty that we can get value from this investment made in infrastructure projects? Your guess is as good as mine. The concept of value engineering, which is increasing functionality while reducing costs and waste without compromising quality and performance, is gradually gaining grounds in many jurisdictions. In the United States, for example, it is a mandatory requirement to use value engineering for specific types of public projects. The intended benefits from having a national policy are numerous and substantial, from maximizing investment value, improving project quality, to fostering efficiency across government agencies. In Ghana, where a substantial amount of public funds for infrastructure projects is often utilized efficiently, the need for value engineering as a national policy cannot be overemphasized. A national policy will help standardize value engineering practices, ensuring consistent application across infrastructure projects to achieving better outcomes with taxpayers' money. To achieve this, there is a need for procurement reforms, policies and regulations to comprehensively include value engineering, particularly for projects of high value threshold. In our professional practice, we should also strive to apply value engineering principles in a structured approach using systemic analysis, cost-benefit analysis, alternative solutions of construction methods, risk management, and life cycle costing, who will be sharing deep insights. I encourage you all to participate actively, challenge assumptions, and contribute meaningfully. Let's make the most of this opportunity to grow and enhance our profession and build a better nation in a cost-effective way. Thank you all once again for being here. Now, without further ado, it is my pleasure to hand over the mic to the MCs to begin the program. Thank you all once again for being here, and I look forward to the insights you will all bring. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, QS. Do it better for him again. Distinguished guests, fellow surveyors, ladies and gentlemen, let me once again continue with some few acknowledgements before we invite the President for his address. I wish to once again acknowledge the presence of, he was acknowledged initially as the subcommittee chair, but I think we need to do the proper thing again and do the right acknowledgement again. Now we have in our midst Surveyor Michael Frimpong. He is the past chair, AAQS, president, past president, AAQS. We also have in our midst the chairman of the planning committee, Surveyor Dr. Na Ajele Domokpo. Also in our midst is Surveyor Professor Emmanuel Adinyina from KNUST. We acknowledge all governing council members here present. Can you see a wave? All governing council members, we acknowledge you. This morning, we are also privileged to have in our midst Mr. Franklin Kujo, President Imani Ghana. We have Surveyor Malam Issa, the Chief Executive, Ghana Highway Authority. Also representing the Road Minister, Honorable Governor Kwame Abuja. From our sister institution, we have Engineer Ewa Frimpong Isaac, Ghana Institution of Engineering. Yeah. So as the program goes on, we will acknowledge the rest. It's now my pleasure to invite to the podium the President of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors and the person of Surveyor Kofi Ayerebi, Obin Ayerebi. Put your hands together for him. Give it up for him. Welcome, Mr. President. You're looking sharp this morning.
Thank you, Soviayan, and Good morning to you all. In accepting to be the chairman for the occasion, I would like to wish everybody well. Distinguished guest speaker, Professor Douglas Watson, Nana Ugwa Maihen, my executive committee members, distinguished governing council members here present who I believe are supporting me in chairing this program, colleague members of Ghana Institution of Surveyors, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm very happy to be the chair of this morning's session of the Quantity Surveying Conference. As a quantity surveyor myself, I deem it a privilege to be at this year's Quantity Surveying Conference here in this historic city of Cape Coast. I bring you warm greetings from the executive committee members and the governing council members of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, and extend heartfelt appreciation to every participant, speaker, and partners who made the event possible. In fact, this year's theme, Integrating Value Engineering Infrastructure Procurement in Ghana, could not have been a more timely or relevant. As a nation striving to achieve sustainable infrastructure development amid constrained resources, the principles of value engineering present a clear path towards achieving efficiency, economy, and excellence in our project delivery. Value engineering is not about cutting costs at the expense of quality. Rather, it is about optimizing value for every cedi spent. It therefore challenges us as professionals and policymakers to rethink the traditional approach to procurement of works, goods, and services, from one based solely on cost and compliance to one that embraces innovation, life cycle cost analysis, and long-term performance. In Ghana's context, where infrastructure continues to drive national growth and social transformation, integrating value engineering principles into our procurement framework can ensure that projects are not only delivered on time and within budgets, but also provide enduring value to the communities they serve. Today's conference, therefore, provides us with a unique opportunity to exchange ideas, share knowledge, and develop strategies that will imbibe value engineering into the heart of our procurement system. I'm therefore confident that the deliberations, technical presentations, and professional interactions over the next 2 days will deepen our collective understanding and help chart a forward-looking agenda for the built environment sector through continuous professional development, advocacy to promote capacity of professionals in the provisions of such expertise towards the full range of the services. We should use the establishment of the GHIS Center of Excellence to acquire knowledge in these contemporary areas. that will put us in a higher pedestal as professionals in the built environment industry of Ghana. As chairman this morning, I encourage all participants to fully engage, fully, ask critical questions, and contribute your expertise to the discussions ahead. The insights we generate here in Cape Coast must not remain within these walls. They should inform policy direction, professional practice, and institutional collaborations across Ghana's infrastructure delivery ecosystem. On this note, and on behalf of the organizers, I will once again welcome you, as has been done by the KOS chair, to all who are attending this quantity surveying conference, and hope we will all participate and enjoy the presentations so that we will go to our various destinations enriched by attending this conference. I wish you a fruitful deliberation and the most rewarding stay in Cape Coast. Thank you, and God bless us all for being here.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Let's keep encouraging him as he takes his seat. Thank you, Mr. President, for that wonderful speech. Mr. President has taken his seat. At this point, we would proceed by introducing up here Surveyor Barbara and Defoche to introduce our guest of honor. Please, let's give her a hand of applause.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Osaberema's rep, Nananom, distinguished guests. Allow me to stand on existing protocols to introduce the guest of honor for today's conference. Our guest of honor is a very prominent traditional ruler born 85 years ago. He attended Government Boys School, now Philip Kweku Boys School, Cape Coast, from 1946 to 1953, and continued to Adisadel College, Cape Coast, from 1954 to 1958. He had his intermediate ACCA certificate in 1963, professional accountancy ACCA from Glasgow, Scotland, from 1964 to 1969. He is a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ghana, and Ghana Institute of Taxation. He worked with the Internal Revenue Service as investigating accountant from 1969 to 1971. He has served on many boards, among them the Internal Audit Agency, Tema Oil Refinery Limited, and Bishop Akun Memorial Eye Center. He was a commissioner on the Constitutional Review Commission in 2012, a representative of the Central Regional House of Chiefs, Public Interest and Accountability Committee under the Petroleum Act, and many others. Currently, he's a Council of State member. He is married with children and enjoys playing golf and listening to classical and religious music. Known in private life as Joseph Sekum Hazel, our guest of honor for this important occasion is Osaberema Dr. Kwesiata II, the Omanhin of Ogwa Traditional Area. Distinguished guests, please let's welcome Nana Kwame Edu VI, the Tufuhin of Ogwa Traditional Area, who is representing the Paramount Chief. Thank you.
I think the last speaker, the MC, did a good job. I am not Osaberema. I cannot be Osaberema. In fact, reading from his, what do you call it, profile, I cannot fit his shoes. Neither can I fit the sandals. But suffice it to say that he holds you in high esteem. He has a speech here. I'll read it. But before that, let me give you 2 reasons why I know he holds you in high esteem. The picture that he gave you for the program, he does not send it out. And not to sound as if I'm boasting, I don't do this. I'm a warrior. I don't have words for high esteem. A little observation to page 6 of your program. Kindly look at the paragraph headed toponymy. 1 word meaning market. That is debatable. This one is from the internet. Others had copied it. But anthropologically, Ugwa means Eja Ugwa, which suggests that it is a person's name. The founder of Ugwa was from Efutu, a Guan village on the northwest of the city Cape Coast. Cape Coast, or Ugwa was there before Cape Coast was named Cape Coast. It cannot be a market. Markets are made for people. When he discovered Ugwa, it was a forest. Markets are never constructed in a forest. Around that time, there was a market. Iguasi, there was a market. This nomadic hunter was a warrior, and they had emigrated from the Efutu kingdom and settled at the present-day Efutu along Jukwa Road. He was a fighter, but he became a nomadic hunter. And when he comes and hunts, he sends meat back to his chief, Nana Amankwa at Efutu. But then he came across the crab in a pond at the place that we called Kotokraba. So it is true that Kotokraba is corrupted from Kotoraba. So the name Ugwa does not mean market. It is Eja Ugwa. I want to do this correction. Secondly, the third thing that I think Osabrema, Dr. Kwesata, the counselor, holds you in high esteem is that I know for a fact that to be a QS, quantity surveyor, you have to be a contractor, somebody who knows about building, either houses, castles, bridges, before you can become a quantity surveyor. Just like in the medical profession, to be an ophthalmologist, you have to be a medical doctor before you branch. It's the same thing applies to QS. I've worked with them. I've worked under them. You don't make that noise. You have to make noise. Because do you know, the Bible says in Luke 14, chapter 28 to 30 that, I'm paraphrasing, it is only a fool who starts constructing without knowing the value or how much it will cost before he does that. As for this applause, I will demand more. So your profession is high esteemed profession. It is full of wisdom, full of discipleship. Don't joke with it. And there's a testament here. Is it a wonder that all those in the high table, I'm not talking about this place. See, this one, they have removed their hair, so you can't see the white, the gray hair. It is not a wonder that all of you, past presidents, current presidents, wear white, gray hair. Now, to Osabrembe's speech. I don't do much English, so forgive me if I don't pronounce some of his words well. He says, honorable dignitaries, esteemed guests, respected quantity surveyors. On this script that he gave me, in fact, it's in your program, but he has underlined respected quantity surveyors. And he asked me to tell you that he has underlined it. And distinguished guests, on behalf of the people of Ugwa, I, Osabrema, Councillor, Commissioner, Dr. Qsd II, welcome you all to the beautiful city of Cape Coast, Yamahum Akwaba. He says he is delighted to grace this occasion. Very delighted. But you know that he gave you a very good welcome when you visited him. But he's been called to Accra as a counselor of the Council of State. Otherwise, he would have dined, he would have wined, he would have discussed with you till you leave. So this conference, he's proud that you have chosen this region. He says, I should tell you that your profession is vital to our development, ensuring that projects are delivered efficiently and effectively. As leaders in your field, he encourages you to leverage your expertise to drive growth, sustainability, and innovation. Your role in shaping infrastructure and buildings is crucial to your community's prosperity. He commends your commitment to excellence and professional development. He has an admonition for you. He says, please continue to build on your strengths, share your knowledge, and mentor future generations. As he, the Paramount Chief of Ugwa Traditional Area, he appreciates your contributions, especially to our region's development. He wishes you fruitful deliberations, meaningful networking, and successful outcomes. He says further that while you are here in Cape Coast, make it much more engaging and beautiful than where we went to Kofodwa. Therefore, he entreats you that take some time off to visit our beautiful beaches and many wonderful sites of our region, which includes, but not limited to, the Cape Coast Castle. There's a word I want to put here. The eye of our city now, the Ugwa Market, and the Kakum National Park, among others. He thanks you very much for acknowledging him to be your guest of honor. He does not leave you alone. he leaves you with God's blessings. He says, may God bless you all. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's give them a hand of applause. Thank you very much, Nana, for that wonderful speech. Thank you. We are grateful. At this point, we continue our program by listening to is an international chartered director, industrialist, business strategist, industrial operations engineer, and so many others. He was the Africa's first ever appointed professor extraordinaire for supply chain management, governance, and industrialization, with extensive experience and expertise in corporate governance. Professor, our guest speaker, is a former non-executive chairman of the Ghana's Mineral Income and Investment Fund, MIF. He was also inducted into various global institutional and organizational walls of fame. Among them is the Institute of Directors, Southern Africa in 2008 for his worldwide contribution to logistics, supply chain, governance and management. He's affiliated to many organizations that I don't want to bore you with. He's also a fellow of the Institute of Directors, UK and South Africa, Society of Operations Engineers in UK, Institute of Plant Engineers UK, and several others. Our keynote speaker for today is also a former board chair of the Public Procurement Authority. With the hand of applause, we will receive our guest speaker. Unfortunately, an emergency took him out of our presence, but he didn't leave us with a rep. He also wanted to have sent a rep, but he felt that we should also hear him for himself. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear and listen to our keynote speaker in the person of Professor Douglas Boateng? Whilst we wait for the technical team to get that done, shall we acknowledge in our presence Architect Tony Asari, the president of the Ghana Institute of Architects. Thank you, sir, for joining us. You're welcome.
Distinguished guests, policymakers, business leaders, students, fellow professionals, all protocols observed. Good morning. It is indeed an honor to be presenting to you my views on value engineering and total cost of ownership. Across Africa and beyond, we have seen bridges that do not meet the river, hospitals that open without equipment, and roads that crack before ribbon cutting. These are not construction problems. They are governance failures. They reveal an inconvenient truth. We celebrate the start of projects more than we think about their future. Every project should begin with two questions. What is its purpose? What will it truly cost across its lifetime? That is where value engineering meets total cost of ownership. Value engineering helps us design what is necessary and functional. Total cost of ownership reminds us that the real bill starts after commissioning. When both work together, spending becomes stewardship. When ignored, we build halfway bridges that become monuments to unfinished ambition. Too often we start with how much will it cost instead of what are we trying to achieve. A cheaper pump may save $1 million today, yet cost $10 million in energy and repairs over 20 years. A shiny imported furniture may win applause, yet bankrupt maintenance budgets for a decade. Value engineering is not about cutting costs. It is about protecting purpose. Total cost of ownership ensures that purpose survives time. The bridge that stops halfway is not a monument to effort. It is a warning against shallow thinking. Japan saved $1.2 billion on Tokyo Haneda Airport expansion through structured value reviews while keeping performance intact for major public works, which prevents gold plating and forces maintenance design. In the United States, value reviews on highways and transit consistently return savings and reduce change orders. Agencies that apply value engineering at concept stage report better safety and schedule certainty. In the United Kingdom, disciplined value and life cycle methods helped steady crosswheel after delays by aligning scope to operational lead. Germany's Berlin-Brandenburg Airport avoided hundreds of millions in secondary fixes by redesigning ventilation and safety systems before final commissioning. China has used value audits on metro and ring road projects to shorten schedules by more than 10% while improving capacity and safety. The Netherlands treats dikes and rivers with life cycle discipline. Room for the River invested in nature-based designs that cost less to maintain and reduce flood risk over decades. These are not only technical feats, they are examples of disciplined governance. Where foresight becomes habit, progress follows. Across Africa, infrastructure often costs more, delivers less, and fails sooner than it should. The World Bank has estimated that about 1/5 of the continent's annual infrastructure budget is lost to inefficiency and poor oversight. Ghana shows both sides. The Tema Motorway interchange used disciplined design reviews, early contractor input, and practical material choices. It saved time, saved money, and improved traffic flow. Yet unoccupied housing estates and stalled irrigation schemes show what happens when purpose, maintenance, and ownership are afterthoughts. On urban roads in Ghana, simple drainage and subgrade improvements at design stage extend road life by years. Where bases were skipped, pavements failed within a single rainy season. Where bases were enforced, we avoided costly overlays and frequent patching. Nigeria built roads without proper drainage and lost them in 2 wet seasons. The fix was not more asphalt. The fix was gutters, culverts, and slope protection specified upfront. Kenya's Standard Gaugeway conducted value reviews that reduced cost pressure while preserving scope. Rwanda's feeder road program redesigned curves, culverts, and pavement layers, improving market access by about a quarter and cutting farm to market travel times. South African water utilities that adopted life cycle asset management improved reliability and reduced non-revenue water sources. Morocco's solar complex use modular phasing and performance-based contracts to control cost and build local capacity and capability. Ethiopia's green legacy planted billions of trees at very low physical cost with real watershed benefits because logistics, seedling choices, and community ownership were engineered from scale. Ghana's hospital equipment procurement offers a similar lesson. Buying devices without maintenance, contracts, and local training leads to ideal theaters and dark wards. Hospital that bundles spare parts, training, and uptime guarantees into the tender kept services running and budgets under control. That is total cost of ownership in action. Each example makes the same point. Cost discipline does not delay progress, it delivers it. Our challenge is often not a shortage of money, but a shortage of restraint. Hospitals delayed because marble replaced ceramic. Bridges that doubled in cost because imported railings were considered more presidential. When politics chooses form over function, every progress becomes decorative. Leadership must ask not what looks good today, but what will work well tomorrow. Every wasted cedi, dollar, or naira is a quiet theft from the unborn. Countries that implement life cycle management reduce maintenance costs and extend asset life. Good governance, my colleagues, not extra funding, is the most underused infrastructure resource on the continent. The real cost of a project is not what we pay to build it. It is what we pay to operate it, maintain it, and eventually replace it. Value engineering keeps us disciplined at the start. Total cost of ownership keeps us honest over time. If adopted as standard practice in ministries, boardrooms, and local government, these methods could save tens of billions of dollars each year. Ghana's value for money audits, South Africa's public works reforms, and Kenya's life cycle planning are steps in the right direction. A nation that learns to count value instead of contracts stops leaking development and starts flowing with progress. On highways, early value engineering reduces utility clashes, land take, and change orders. In health, total cost of ownership contracts keep scanners, pumps, and oxygen plants running when they are needed most. In water, life cycle assets plans reduce non-revenue water and keep treatment works in spec. In energy, performance-based procurement improves reliability and lowers tariffs over time. In education, designing for local materials and maintainable finishes reduces vandalism and upkeep, keeping schools open and safe. Efficiency is not the enemy of compassion. It is the currency of responsibility. You know, there are 5 questions every leader must ask before approving any project. Ask, does it serve a clear and measurable purpose? Is there a simpler or local alternative? What will it cost across its full life, not only to build but to maintain? Who will be responsible for performance after commissioning? Can future generations afford the decision being made today? These are not academic questions. They are the guardrails of generational governance. Ladies and gentlemen, actions that we can start today are very simple and practical. Africa and the wider development do not need new theories. The tools already exist. What we need is discipline. Make value reviews mandatory for public projects above a defined threshold and complete them before procurement. Life cycle costing across ministries and states must be mandatory so that projects are judged by total usefulness and sustainability, not by lowest upfront cost. Train engineers, quantity surveyors, planners, and project officers in value methods through universities and professional bodies, with continuing development that focuses on practical tools. Create national value for money audits that makes projects accountable and publish simple public summaries that citizens can understand. Reward foresight by linking promotions and contractor ratings to outcomes 5 years after handover, not to ribbon-cutting dates. Strengthen local accountability by giving districts and regions the authority, skills, and simple digital dashboards to track costs, schedule, and performance management. Invite citizen vigilance. Ask communities to adopt completed assets such as schools, boreholes, and clinics and report breakdowns very early. These are not heavy lifts. They are practical habits applied with consistency. They can save more than $30 billion each year across the continent. That money can build and operate hospitals, fund reliable water and power systems, and support industries that create dignified work. The future will not be rewarded to a nation that spends the most. It will be rewarded to the nation that thinks the longest. Project sustainability is not a luxury. It is the language of survival. The bridges that we build, the roads that we pave, and the systems we design must be measured, not by commissioning ceremonies, but by the service to the people and endurance across generations. The discipline of foresight, grounded in value engineering and total cost of ownership, can help transform Africa from a continent of unfinished projects to a continent of completed purpose. Let this generation be remembered not for what it started, but for what it finished. Not for now, how much it spent, but for how wisely it invested. Not for the applause at commissioning, but for the gratitude of those yet unborn. I thank you for your time.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will want to hear from our road minister. Unfortunately, he's not in our midst this morning, but he has a worthy replacement in the person of Surveyor Malam Issa, the Chief Executive of Ghana Highway Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for him as he walked gallantly towards the stage. Yes.
Yeah, before I start, I will want to apologize for the inability of my boss to be here. Actually, he wanted so much to be in your midst, but he couldn't make it because of his busy schedule. And the other thing that he thought the whole thing was even in Accra, because this morning he called me around 6:30, which is his normal time for always going to work. Asked, "Oh, Malam, are you in the office?" I said, "No, I wanted to discuss this thing before I appear at the conference." I said, "Oh, unfortunately, I'm in Cape Coast." "Oh, are you? Is the conference taking place in Cape Coast?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Oh," I said, "Okay, you represent me." I said, "I'm already there, so I will do so." Also for Bremer, Dr. Kwesi Atta, our guest of honor, President of Ghana Institution of Surveyors, members of the Government Council here present, distinguished fellows and members of the Quantity Surveying Division, representatives from academia, industries and the media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is an honor to be here today at the 2028 Quantity Surveying Division Conference, organized by the Quantity Surveying Division of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, on the very timely and important tune, integrating value engineering into infrastructure procurement. Let me begin by commending the Ghana Institution of Surveyors and the Quantity Surveying Division for their continued leadership in promoting professionalism, efficiency, accountability in the built environment. Conferences such as provides an invaluable platform for reflection, learning, collaboration, all of which are essential for delivering better infrastructure outcomes for our nation. Value imperative in infrastructure delivery. As a country, Ghana continued to make significant investment in infrastructure, from roads and bridges to schools, hospitals, electricity and water systems. These investments are not just about physical structures. They are about improving lives, facilitating trade, and driving inclusive development. However, as many of us here know, the question the public often asks, and rightly so, is whether we are getting value for money in the execution of these projects. Value for money goes beyond lower cost. It is about achieving the balance between quality, cost, functionality, and sustainability. It means ensuring that every city spent or every city invested is in infrastructure. Every city invested in infrastructure is more benefit to the people of Ghana. This is where value engineering becomes crucial. Integrated value engineering. Value engineering is not a cost-cutting exercise. It is a creative and systematic approach. It ensures every aspect of a project contributing meaningful to its intended purpose. It challenges us to ask three basic questions. One, are we designing for? Two, we procuring smartly? And three, managing cost, maximizing quality and safety. When properly integrated in our infrastructure procurement process, value engineering can significantly reduce waste, promote and sustainability. It can also help ensure that projects are budget and areas many developing nations, including ours. Quantity surveyors. Hello. Quantity surveyors, as cost and value management aspects, play a pivotal role in this process. You are the professionals who can translate the principles of value engineering into practice, from the design stage through procurement and construction to post-completion evaluation. You have the expertise to ensure that decisions are guided by data, analysis, and sound judgment, and not by tradition or convenience. As a ministry, we are deeply committed to strengthen the frameworks that guides infrastructure procurement. We recognize that achieving value for money depends not only on laws and systems, but also on competence, ethics, collaboration with professionals like you. Government commitment. It is for this reason that we are fully committed to support your Center of Excellence. The Center of Excellence seeks to spearhead capacity building for quantity surveyors and other professionals in the built environment. I believe the insights and recommendations from this conference will these efforts and help shape future policy directions. Ladies and gentlemen, as Ghana continues on its path of development, our responsibility is not just to build more infrastructure, but better infrastructure. Infrastructure that endures, serves its purpose, and delivers real value for our citizens. The tune for this year's conference reminds us that value is not an abstract concept. It is the outcome of deliberate, collaborative, and informed decision making. I therefore encourage you to continue championing best practices, ethical standards, and innovations in your work. The Ministry of Roads and Highways stands ready to collaborate with you to ensure that Ghana's infrastructure development agenda is efficient, sustainable, and truly value-driven. Once again, I commend fruitful deliberation. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Now let me introduce here Engineer Isaac Ewua Frimpong, representing the Ghana Institution of Engineering, and he's the chairman of the Construction Management Subgroup. Engineer Frimpong, welcome here as we receive your fraternal message. Let's keep clapping and encouraging him for traveling all the way to come and join us have these deliberations.
Chairman, distinguished council members, esteemed colleagues from the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, all media personnel present, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Governing Council and members of the Ghana Institution of Engineers, I bring you warm fraternal greetings and hearty congratulations of engineering. I'm delighted to join you in the reflection on the theme, integrating value engineering into infrastructure procurement. This topic is both timely and essential as it captures a key aspect of national development, that is ensuring that every project we undertake delivers the greatest possible value to our people. Value engineering is not merely about cutting costs. It is a disciplined approach to achieving maximum functionality, quality, and sustainability within available resources. It calls for creativity, collaboration, and technical excellence, ensuring that infrastructure we design, construct, and maintain is both efficient and enduring. Across Ghana, we continue to face challenges in infrastructure delivery, limited budgets, cost overruns, and project delays. The integration of value engineering principles into procurement systems offers a path to overcome these obstacles. It compels us to plan smarter, design better, and execute with purpose. The Ghana Institution of Engineering believes that the only way to truly realize value in infrastructure is through strong professional collaboration. Engineers, surveyors, architects, and procurement experts must work hand in hand from project conception through completion. While engineers define performance and functionality, surveyors ensure cost efficiency and accountability. Together, we create balance between innovation and affordability. As we deliberate over the next weeks, may your discussions inspire innovation,
strengthen professionals, and generate practical strategies for integrating infrastructure development. We wish you a successful and conference. May our shared commitment to excellence continue to shape a resilient and prosperous Ghana. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you, thank you. Please, let's be generous with our hand clap. It only encourages the people who come up here to take their seats. Thank you very much. Again, we will receive here the president of the Ghana Institute of Architects in the person of architect Tony Asari to also give us the fraternal message from the architect. Please, let's keep clapping until he takes the mic. Thank you.
Very much. I've been smiling ever since I got here. It's good to be amongst who you know, and those trained I started working with in as far back as 1997. So I'm really happy to be here. Mr. President, I promise that I'll come out. I'm here. Osaberima's representative, Nana Kwame Edu, the 6th, to Fuhine Ofogua traditional area. Friends, I think this suffices for the protocols. I am truly honored and humbled to be speaking with you at your annual general meeting, particularly